soda.
Okay, so I've just started to do this video log thing that other people kind of do, where they film themselves saying fun stories. Cause I don't know, I get bored sometimes. And I need something to do with my free time. So I've decided to share unique, interesting stories about my life, hopefully for the enjoyment of other people. So I hope you enjoy my story for this week, which starts on Monday. I'm doing this thing for my school called the Winter One Acts, and I'm directing. And so this week is Hell Week. And I was sitting up at school, kind of bored, running through a play with a bunch of people, not getting to do much except sit around and look at a script and make sure everyone acts right. And I finally get to go home, and I'm starving because our school serves barely any food to you because they're oh, we must be healthy and our kids are fat, so we're gonna give them 3 chicken nuggets for lunch and say, ha, eat that. But anyways, so I'm starving, and as soon as I get home, my parents throw on a few hamburgers on the grill. And so we're cooking the hamburgers, sitting down, and my dad and my sister wanted to have the fatty hamburgers because they taste better, but me and my mom decided to have the lean hamburgers because we want to be all healthy. And so when my dad goes to press down the hamburgers, all the juice spews off the side into the fire on the stove. And all of a sudden, all the burgers light on fire, and there's this huge flame coming off of the stove. And so my dad grabs a pan and suffocates out the fire. But as soon as he takes off the pan, he squishes the burgers again because he thinks it's a good idea, even though he just started a giant fire before, but somehow pressing the burgers and spewing the juice back into the fire will make it better. So he compresses in the juice on the pan, and this time, a volcano of fiery, awkward, poosh balls spew into our microwave, which is conveniently located right above our stovetop. So the spewing fire flew into our microwave and was sucked in by the fan. So we were concerned about putting out the grease fire, which is lighting up our stovetop. And as we get that out, we realize something else is burning. So since the microwave is burning, we're how do we put that out? So we thought we could just knock off the embers sitting on the bottom of the microwave, but it turns out since the flame went inside the microwave, it was burning on inside all the electrical stuff and the insulation. So now our microwave is a giant oven, burning and spewing out black icky smoke all over our house, and it smells so bad. So my mom is freaking out because we redid the kitchen a few years ago and she doesn't want it to get ruined. And my dad is trying to put out the microwave by smacking it with the spatula. And my sister's freaking out because smoke is spewing out of the microwave. So she goes and runs into the living room, lays on the floor, and waits to die. As my mom is running around screaming, "Where's the baking soda? Where's the baking soda?" And she doesn't really move anywhere. But I just kind of get up and go grab the baking soda and run over to my dad and bring him the baking soda so he can put out the fire. But the thing is, you can't really throw baking soda inside a microwave. It just doesn't really work. And it's pretty much only kind of for grease fires. So the baking soda is kind of useless. So my mom was standing right next to the phone in our kitchen, and she's running around in circles screaming "Someone needs to call 911! Someone needs to call it! Oh my god, our house is on fire!" But she grabs the phone, and the line is dead because our Comcast account sucked. They dropped our we pay our bills and stuff, but sometimes the internet and the phone go down anyways. And so this is one of the moments where the phones were down. So our kitchen is in flames by this Dutch oven microwave thing spewing out flames like an angry furnace. And we can't put it out because there's no way to reach inside the microwave and stop the flames from burning. So my mom has to call 911 on her cell phone. And when she does this, she accidentally dials 411, and it was kind of a surprise when 911 didn't answer. But she hung up the phone, and then she calls 911, and when she answers, it's our cell phone company was like, do you need to call 911? And then it forwards us, she's like, yes. And then it forwards her to like this complaint line. It's like, do you need to call 911? And then she was all like, yes. And then all of a sudden it forwards her to this other thing, and it's all like, all the lines are busy, please hold. And so we had to wait for like a tormenting 40 seconds before we can call the fire department and say, hey, our house is on fire. Anyways, but to make matters worse, we actually did have a fire extinguisher, but when we went and ripped it off the wall and went to use it, it was expired, so nothing came out. It was kind of inconvenient. And so, like, I ran next door to our neighbor's house and, like, was ringing on the doorbell, like, ding, 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 ding. And then they come to answer the phone, and I'm like, come to answer the door, and I'm like, do you have a fire extinguisher? Our kitchen's on fire. And now our neighbor's, like, really worried, and then they're all like, oh my god, are your parents home? And then I'm like, oh yeah, they're home. My dad's trying to put out the fire. And so, yeah, our neighbor ran over with a bunch of towels to stuff in the microwave. But as he was getting the towels to come over, this one random guy who was driving his car all of a sudden pulled over, jumped out of his car with the fire extinguishers on. And then I don't know where he came from, but he was like squatting with this fire extinguisher. And then all of a sudden just started running towards our house. And I didn't know where he came from, but he had this fire extinguisher. But it turns out when he went in the house to use the fire extinguisher, it was half empty anyway, so it didn't really matter. So he sprayed it like once, and then it was out of fire extinguishing goo. And so my dad pretty much had the fire concealed by the time he kind of came in by stuffing rags inside the microwave so it didn't get oxygen. The guy decided it was a good idea to see what was going on and ripped out all the rags. And once he did that, oxygen got into the fire and it started spewing out angry flames everywhere and like burning all our kitchen cabinets. And yeah, so yeah, our kitchen kind of looks like one black cinder pit now because he ripped out all the rags. But the fire department did eventually show up, and they put out the fire, and then they removed our microwave from the wall, so now we just have this, like, giant hole in the wall where the microwave used to be that's just, like, covered in this, like, black soot from where it sat, and we haven't been able to eat food at our house for 3 days, so it's been kind of fun, I guess. And that's the end of my story, I guess, for this week. So, maybe see you next time.